Welcome back, everybody. Hey, what's up? Good morning. It's the first day of E3. I'm Max Scoville. I'm with Anoop. You're the project design director on Agents of Mayhem, which is not a Saints Row game.
No.
What is it? Please, just go nuts. Like, seriously, like, we haven't seen the gameplay. We're revealing the gameplay for Agents of Mayhem, which sounds like a...
Yeah. Well, basically, Agents of Mayhem is a new IP. It takes place in the larger Saints universe, but it's its own thing. And the idea is you're controlling a squad of super agents. You're going through Seoul, South Korea, and you're basically fighting against the supervillain organization Legion. And Mayhem is your organization. And the idea is to basically find out their evil plots, stop them from carrying them out, and just taking down the bad guys.
Okay, so what are we seeing right now?
So right now we're in Seoul on the rooftops. This is Hardtack. He's using a shotgun. That's his weapon of choice. He's doing melee attacks, taking out some Legion enemies. That is his teleport harpoon ability. And basically the idea is he can bring enemies closer to him and then take them out real well. This is Fortune. She's our sky pirate. So she basically can fire a cannonball attack, take out enemies from a long distance, slow them down. And then finally we have Hollywood, who's the face of Mayhem. And the idea is that he basically is the PR guy. He's like a former reality show star. And he just loves the spotlight.
Okay. So obviously one of the big parts of Saints Row is customization and making your own character. How does that play into this? Like,
for Agents of Mayhem, we really are focusing on the gameplay customization. So the idea is picking your squad is very important. The kinds of specialties they have, the special abilities that they use, how they can take out enemies, and then you can change their gadgets to change how they behave in battle and support each other. And that's the customization we're really focusing on for Agents of Mayhem instead of the visual customization. Okay. Our agents will have different skins, however, that you'll be able to use.
Okay, that sounds good. That lady with who looks like Boba Fett with a ponytail, who is that? Please tell me about her.
Oh, those are the swarm troopers.
Okay.
So the idea is they come in close, they try and swarm you with numbers and use melee attacks to take you out. So Hardtack is a great choice to use against them. So
this is the first time Saints Row has gone to a real city. Like, this is Seoul, Stillwater, and what's the first one?
Steelport.
Steelport, yeah.
Second.
Second one, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this is the first time you guys have had like a real, actual location that exists in the real world. How has that affected your approach to making this game?
We thought it would be interesting to sort of go to a different place in the world and explore different ideas of different cultures. The idea with Seoul is we wanted it to be something that's recognizable that people know about, but we have our own sort of take on it. It's a futuristic version of it. It's not realistic. It's not a one-to-one recreation. And basically the idea is just to make it feel like a global game as opposed to something that's taking place just in the United States or another country.
Okay. Well, I hear they like games there, so that probably works to your advantage. This is looking like very, I mean, it looks very like hero shootery. Like tell me about like the approach to gameplay here. Like, because Saints Row is historically like kind of like, hey, go spray diarrhea at real estate, please.
Yeah. So one of the things with Agents of Mayhem that we wanted to do was spotlight these characters, these agents, and the idea is each one of them is unique. They're colorful. They're fun to play, and they all have their own style to play. So in the footage we have here, you'll see 4 different ones, and they all have very different play styles. And the idea is we wanted to have a little more tactical and strategy to our combat, rather than just...
what's that? Mayhem. That just popped up there.
So basically, you use your special abilities. So for Hollywood, it's like a grenade that like dazzles people. Fortune's is her cannonball that you see here. Once they've done it enough times, then they can do these Mayhem abilities. And that's what you're seeing here. Her drone Glory, kind of like her parrot, is going around stunning enemies, doing damage to them, and then she's just basically cleaning up and taking them out while they can't really do much.
So obviously this is very co-op focused. This is about like, does everyone play as a character, or is it about swapping between?
It's about actually swapping between the agents. So the idea is that it's an exclusively single-player game. You control those 3 agents because we wanted you to feel like you are running that agency, that you are in charge, and you don't need to rely on other people to be successful.
Yeah, I mean, with Saints Row 4, it feels like maybe you guys played Mass Effect 2. Like, I got that vibe. I mean, I don't want to like,
something
you know.
that we've looked at. Yeah.
Okay. Who's that?
That's Rama. So she's the fourth character that we've revealed at this point. She's an
She looks like
archer,
the
as you can see.
Hobgoblin.
She is a little bit like that. She's from India. She's an epidemiologist in her previous life before becoming an Agent of Mayhem. And her thing is she uses this bow, but she also uses plague technology against the enemies. It's a plague that they release in India, and she's using it against Legion herself.
So yeah, talk about this a little bit more. What's the world like? Like, what's the setting here?
So the idea is it's sort of this not a present day. It's a little bit in the future. This organization called Legion. They kind of hit around the world and have sort of had a big impact everywhere around the world. And Seoul is where they're focused right now. And the idea is that you're trying to stop them from doing how they're trying to take over the world, what they care about. And so basically, Legion they have different ministries. And right now, in this game, you see Pride, and they're all focused on robotics and technology. All our enemies have shields for this ministry. You'll see in Seoul, there's so much high tech. They're here to basically take as much of that and use it for their own purposes as possible.
Yeah, I love that you're like it's the future, but like you could show me like a photograph from Seoul right now, and I'd be like, wow, what a cool sci-fi universe.
Right.
They're very high tech there.
And that's also one of the reasons why we picked Seoul as well.
Excellent broadband. So, is this an open world game?
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
So Seoul is a big open world. You have access to it right from the beginning. You can get up on the rooftops. All our agents have double jump as well as extra traversal abilities to get them wherever they need to go. And the idea is you're going around. They've sort of occupied the city. You want to try and stop them from owning those areas. They also exist underground. They have these underground layers that you have to find. They're hidden. And you're exploring, learning where they're at, and going in and basically fighting them in these layers and taking out bosses and big enemies in there.
How big do the enemies get?
So that's Steel Toe. He's one of our big lieutenants in the game. In that boss battle, you see him get really big. We have some big golems, like you see in the trailer. That's like an open world bad guy that you're going to fight. And he's not even like a boss in the missions or anything like that. They get pretty big, but I don't know the exact numbers, but it's definitely overwhelming for the agents.
So I mean, I'm sorry to do this and to keep bringing it back to Saints Row, but I can see your shirt. It's purple. It has that thing on it. Obviously, this is the same universe. How weird and goofy are you guys getting?
You're definitely going to see that Volition brand, that humor in Agents of Mayhem.
Because you guys are a bunch of 13-year-olds. I'm going to be honest.
I think we act like it, but we're not always. We really enjoy the fact that we can sort of have a lot of fun with the world, and we don't want to be super serious because we like having fun. We like making fun of ourselves or making fun of other things, and. But one of the things about Agents of Mayhem is the stakes are real. The world is actually in danger, and familiar with like the Marvel movies, they need to feel like they need to save the world, and that's important to the Agents of Mayhem as well.
So can you talk a little bit about this? We got this cool cinematic trailer, which honestly looks like it looks like a G.I. Joe movie that I'd go see. Like on opening weekend.
That was actually kind of one of our goals. We wanted people to get that vibe, to feel like they understand what these agents are, that they're going around stopping these bad guys.
Who's this man with the eye patch? Can you talk a bit about him?
Yeah, this is Dr. Babylon. He is the leader of the Ministry of Pride. So he's out to basically steal as much technology as possible, use it for Legion's purposes, and if the Agents of Mayhem can stop him, they will be in really good shape.
Okay. And he's got like this cool Mr. Burns like sun blocking out.
Yeah.
This cool thing. We've seen a lot of gameplay that's like very colorful and bright. Is there like a day-night cycle here? Is it?
Yep. Yeah, we have a full day-night cycle. You'll see that. You'll see that changes in some of the weather patterns. It's not a huge part of the game, but definitely the idea is that there is it's a living, breathing world. You're seeing the people of Seoul like utilizing technology, going about their daily business, and then affected by Legion and Mayhem.
Okay. So I'm sorry to come back here, but customization. You talked about how it applies to gameplay. How stupid can you get with Like, can you change outfits of characters and stuff, or is
We
it?
will have different skins that you'll have access to for the agents, and you'll unlock them over time. They will always be true to the nature of the character to some degree, but we want to.
How many agents are there? There's
going to be 12 total.
Okay.
We're only showing 4 right now.
Okay. Is one of them like a morbidly obese chrome green woman? Because that's who I've played a lot of Volition games as.
We definitely have a big variety in the agents that you'll see, but I'm not going to go into the details right now.
Okay, fair enough. What else can you tell us? Like, just you come in here with a bunch of notes. I'll be real with you. Like, you've got stuff you want to tell us about. So this is it. Let's do it.
Yeah. Basically, I think the exploring Seoul and like learning where all the Legion activity is and like going into the dungeons is a big part of the game. And the idea is, when you go into these dungeons, you never know where they're going to appear.
Are you guys calling them dungeons?
The Legion Lairs, yeah.
Legion Lairs, okay, yeah.
When you go into them, they basically.
But they're dungeons.
If you're playing a role-playing game, that's what they would be called, yeah. But the idea is that they're not the same every time you go in, and even if you go into the same place again, they've redesigned it and built it again in a new way, and so you don't know what you're going to get, what kinds of enemies you're going to see, how it's going to cap off, and what kinds of traps you're going to experience.
Okay. Vehicles, is that a thing?
We do have vehicles in the game. They're not in the footage we're releasing now, but there are many agent vehicles that you'll be able to control, as well as pedestrian cars.
Are there VTOL jets?
We're not doing any flying vehicles right
Interesting. Now. Okay. Is that like a zoning rule for Seoul, or is it?
We wanted to focus on the agents themselves and how they traverse through the city, and with Seoul being as vertical as it is, we wanted the agents to feel important and not shortcut what they're doing in the world.
Okay. What's been like your kind of big driving force behind like making the agents? Like, what's been like, what have you guys kind of like? Has it been like Expendables, or is it like?
I think looking at things like Marvel and G.I. Joe and the Expendables and all those kinds of things. And basically, the idea is we want the personalities of the agents to bounce off of each other, and they don't always get along. They have different worldviews, but their overall goal with each other is to basically stop Legion, and so they always come together to do that. But they'll often make fun of each other or really not take each other seriously when it's.
That's good to hear. Is there like a class system? I mean, because obviously there's certain ones you've got the very large man with a shotgun, and then you've got the fast lady jumping around. Like,
so I wouldn't say that there's classes, but they definitely have specialties. So like. Fortune and Hardtack are sort of mid-range characters. Hardtack's a short-range character, and Rama's a long-range. And we have a sort of a mixture between all three of those in terms of the distances. But then how they the weapons that they use and the abilities that they have still separate them, even if they are within the long-range category. The idea is also we wanted people to have their favorite agents and not feel like they have to always go with the balanced squad or always use these specific characters because they're, I love Hollywood, so I want to use him all the time. And you should still be successful. You may not be able to like destroy enemies super easily, but you'll be able to still get through the game playing with agents that you really enjoy.
Okay. Do the characters is there like a story attached to every one of them? Is it kind of like did they evolve as you know?
Each agent has their own reason for why they joined Mayhem, and you'll learn about those things during the course of the game, but it's definitely a very important part of Agents of Mayhem.
Okay. Well, that sounds awesome. I mean, obviously this looks like something that is kind of conducive to multiplayer. Is that something you're approaching down the road, or?
We've talked about multiplayer, but right now we're really focused on Agents of Mayhem being a single-player experience that really sells the world and sells the agents.
Okay. So you've got this open world. It's obviously there's the story-driven stuff. Like, I mean, again, Saints games, we've gotten some great trailers. Like they look very, very cool, and then we see how people actually play the game, and it's goofy as S-word. I can't say that on here. I'm sorry. how silly are you guys going to get with this? Because I mean, you come out with E3. You're
Yeah,
gonna...
at the base level, like, it's again they take things seriously, even if they don't take each other seriously. But we will definitely have trademark Volition kinds of toys. We have these things called Gremlin toys where you use them and they can do goofy things like what you'll see in footage.
Gremlin toys?
Gremlin's one of the agents that you have back at HQ, and she builds specific technology for the Mayhem agents, and she makes things like we have the thing called Pet Explosion, where basically
wait, no, sorry. Pet Explosion?
Yeah.
Okay, no, expand on that.
Yeah, you turn it on, and as you walk by pedestrians, they'll like get tagged, and they'll like a countdown will appear over their heads, and after 3 or 5 seconds, they'll explode.
Oh, so it's like pet explosion. Okay,
yes.
I thought pet.
Yep.
Which honestly, you guys have talked about farts in a jar as a weapon at E3, so pet explosions.
No. This is pedestrian explosion.
So you just have random. You just have exploding NPCs.
Yeah, and sometimes like if there are a lot of pedestrians around the area, you want to take out Legion, they can be good weapons. Because again, the Agents of Mayhem are not there to save people; they're there to stop Legion.
Okay, you guys are monsters. Please expand on the weirdness, because this is what I want to hear about. Like, you guys are known for goofiness, and I feel like at E3 it's always kind of a matter of like carting out like, here's the shiny polished stuff, but like realistically, you will play as a morbidly obese green chrome woman. Like,
right. Yeah. No.
Can you adjust genital size in this?
We don't have any changes on like the
Why
models.
not?
It's really we wanted the agents to be like very recognizable. Their silhouettes are very specific, and so when you see hardtack, that's hardtack.
Okay. I mean, I'm very intrigued. Like obviously like a lot of people are looking at this like a Saints Row game, and that's a game about all like kind of going nuts on your own terms. Are there like side missions where you're kind of like running around and just
we have a lot of open world activities where you're going to be stopping Legion and earning cash to build up your gadgets and your upgrades and your agents, and then you'll learn more about the agents. They have their own stories as well, and that's all part of the overall Agents Mayhem experience. It's not just always stopping Legion. You're also doing the things that will let you be better at stopping Legion.
Well, that sounds cool. This honestly, like, without being dismissive, this looks like the best G.I. Joe game we've ever got.
I don't take it that way.
Anoop, thank you so much for coming by and showing this off. We've got more E3 stuff coming up real soon, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly, and Agents of Mayhem.